Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 Mocks of the Week episode where we take a look at the coolest custom LEGO creations we happen to see people building throughout this last week, and we basically just show them off to you guys. We talk about the creations, what we like about them, and we also leave the links to the original builders' flickers so you can see more of their projects. This week we're doing something a little bit differently. At the end of these episodes, normally we show off your submissions, the fan mock custom creations at the end of the episode, but I've decided to split that into a second episode because I realize I don't talk about your custom creations as much as I would like to. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking about your creations. It's going to be a slightly different video format. Let me know what you guys think about that. And yeah, feel free to submit your custom creations to us at our special email in the description below. Righto, let's get started with the very first build. This is an amazing looking Gundam. It's called the EZ8 and it's from the builder Seno. I think that's how you say it, at least. There's a good chance that this build is based on one of the many different licensed Gundam series, though I don't know this one and I don't really care because at the end of the day what we have is just an amazing brick built robot. Personally, I think the head was put together extremely well. That's probably the hardest part, I think, to get looking good on a Gundam Lego creation like this, and I can really appreciate the brick built numbers like the 81 on the chest and the 08 on the alternate arm, or maybe that's a shield. Not only does the creation have a wonderful aesthetic look, but the builder Seno has managed to get this robot in a lot of different really dynamic poses, which is a super extra plus. Moving on to number 9, if we're counting down in the build, this is from Rob van Leeuwen. We've got the Outrider. Easily, this is one of my favorite ships from the extended universe in Star Wars. It was first made popular in the Shadows of the Empire N64 game way back when, and I personally am on the team of Dash Rendar. I know some of the hardcore fans think he's a little bit of a cop-out or Han Solo 2.0, which he sort of is, but still, I do like his ship, I do like the character, and I think Rob did a great job bringing this to life. I think it's a minifig scale version of the Outrider, and though some of the lines and proportions aren't necessarily perfect, he did a really good job bringing this ship to life, and I'm glad that someone out there has managed to tackle this project with a relative amount of success. At some point we want to make our own version of the Outrider, and I'm glad to see that some more hardcore builders also had this idea in mind. Now number 8 in the lineup is from a builder, Timofey Tkachev, which we've featured many times. His Orca is actually up in our web store, and this is called Garden Dragon. In an odd way, the face somewhat reminds me of maybe how Predator's face might open up. I just have a feeling in between those orange macaroni pieces and those big fig arms, they might split away from each other and you have a row of jagged teeth on the inside. But who knows, maybe he is just kind of funny, cutesy, somewhat slightly creepy garden dragon fig. He's got a garden on his back. Wonderful little build for the mushroom. I really like that use of the old, I think that piece came from Shakespeare or something, that little Renaissance neck clothing piece going under the regular dish piece for the mushroom. I haven't seen that technique before. It looks amazing. And someone tell me where that orange tentacle piece came from for the tail. I feel like that could be used pretty well for Balrog's whip. Or maybe I should just ask Timothy myself. Moving down the line, number 6 is from Headsets. This guy does a ton of custom Brickheadz figs, most of which look to be digital. I have a feeling some of these parts just don't exist in the colors that he's building with, but it doesn't bother me. We have Totoro and Satsuki from My Neighbor Totoro. I recently rewatched this not too long ago. It's still just as good as I remember from when I was a kid, and I think we just have an amazing setup here with Totoro with the leaf on his head. That's an awesome use of those little quarter round tile pieces to make up the detailing on his chest, and the build for Satsuki's hair is pretty darn accurate, I think. If you want to see what other awesome Brickheadz figures could look like, I highly recommend you check out his flicker, and check out everybody's flicker, honestly, that I talk about in this episode. You're guaranteed to find other things that you probably like more than the stuff I'm showing off here right now. That was actually number 7. This is the number 6 build. It's called Kestrel by Jeremy Williams. Now, he employs a technique that I'm seeing more and more often, and I love it because I think it's a great way to build. He's got a studless, smooth, nearly seamless shape for this wing, which is in a kind of an odd shape when you look at it, and this was achieved by using those panel pieces. I know Jarek has done similar things, like with the X-Wing fuselage. There's at least one other version of that technique on a build that's coming out in the web store relatively soon that I can't talk about yet, but I've actually seen it popping up more and more often, and I just think it's a great way to build. And if you like the sort of snot technique, the studs not on top technique, and the smooth looking build, it's a great way to approach a ship design. I also love the little ski piece that kind of rounds off the white edge of the wing on either side, and there's a surprising amount of sticker detailing or decals that he's added to the ship in very small, subtle ways, which I can really appreciate. Normally I'm not a big fan of tons of stickers, but they're so small and very non-obtrusive here that I think they just do nothing but add to the wonderful shape and overall look of the ship. And let's move on. This is one of the only TIE uglies, or whatever you call them, the weird looking TIE fighters. There's about a million from the extended universe, but this is one of the only ones that I ever thought looked even a little bit good. This is the TIE Interrogator. It's from NS Brick Designs, and from what I can tell, I can definitely see elements of the TIE Fighter cockpit design from, looks similar to other TIE Fighters I may have seen from different builders, and certainly the stacked bricks that make up the black of the wings is a pretty common approach nowadays, but that's not to say this isn't a wonderful little build, and there's a lot of original ideas included. As far as I can tell, this ship was used to kind of spy and pick up on signals from the rebels, and it would be kind of interesting to have one sort of in the background or foreground of our giant Yavin build at some point, as like the Empire spying on the base. Who knows? Now this is number 4. Moving down the line, we've got another mech, but it's not a Gundam one. This is called Aries by Mark Rollbuhler. This is part of his Mech Mondays series, and what we have is pretty much just a classic looking mech. It feels like it could have come from Mech Warrior almost. It's got a little bit of an anime-esque kind of feel to it, but wholly original in its final design. The triple barrel Gatling guns on either side look very menacing. It's got the classic sort of 80s or 90s rocket pods on either end, which in a small enough form like this I think look pretty good. It's somewhat of a dated look, I feel like, but I like that it's just 4 pods on either side and we don't have those giant blocks of 20. The cannon on the top looks to have a big old muzzle kind of diffuser, flash diffuser or something, which I think is a really fun little approach. And if you haven't seen Markus's designs before, I think you definitely should, because they're awesome. Now, I don't go in any particular order of what I necessarily think is the best to worst. I just kind of choose an order that I think will be interesting for you guys to watch, and this, I think, honestly, is my favorite one of the week. We've got A Healthy Start by LittleJohn. It's the first time I've run into this builder before, and we just have a great, I've never seen Lego eggs look this good. The avocado slices have a wonderful color gradation, and even the tomatoes make a lot of sense with the trans red being the details for the seed. You can't even really see the kale that much in the corner, but by far my favorite little aspect of this is the pepper on the eggs, which is made up of broken down little brown pieces, because everyone knows brown breaks down way too easily, and it's just funny to see that somebody's actually getting a use out of shattered little Lego bricks to fit perfectly in place in a mock. It's really fun, and I definitely got a kick out of this when I first saw it. So anyways, LittleJohn, you should check him out. I hadn't seen any of his stuff before, but I was definitely pleasantly surprised. Now here we go, number 2. Moving down, the second to last build is Dark Lord by Paddy Bricksplitter, also a new builder I hadn't found before. I don't exactly know what draws me to this build so much. He just looks so clean. His armor feels perfectly solid all the way around him, with the sort of skirt coming down into the chest plate, and the helmet is probably my favorite part, with the little green eyes coming through the slits. It's lit well, the stand is extremely detailed with all the critters, and the little pose with his hand and finger almost beckoning you towards him is a wonderful little touch at the end. Brick built figs are sort of a newfound obsession of mine. I absolutely love them. This guy's got a lot, plus a huge diversity of creations, and it's one of those designers that I just can't believe I never saw before after having done this for so many years. I really like discovering new people, and he's probably my favorite new person to have found this week, that's for sure. Righto, we've got our last build coming up. It's the A31 Swordfish by John Hall. Brick-built propeller and military planes have been coming from the community for as long as Lego has been a thing, as far as I can tell, but even nowadays I feel like there's only a few builders I think do it particularly well. John here is definitely one of them. I think his wing design, or the approach to making a smooth studless wing is probably one of the cleanest ways to do it, and on top of that, he makes some amazing angles as well. The color of this ship also just works so well with the dark orange as the primary and just a little bit of brown and the light yellow. That's not regular yellow, it's the lighter version. It just looks good as a total color scheme. And then wow, sand green for the bottom. That is definitely, or maybe that's aqua green or whatever it is on the bottom. It's just really unexpected. I just like the marrying of the different colors. The support structure that makes up the pontoons looks great, and he built an entire coastal base to outfit this wonderful little ship. There's just about nothing on this build that I don't like, and that, I believe, is going to be it for our top 10 mocks of the week. So remember guys, tomorrow is going to be the Fan Mock Creations episode. It's a slightly different format. I really want you guys to let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about these builders from this episode. And if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault. Hey everybody, wanted to pop in really quick, let you guys know that we've got a LEGO web store, www.brickvault.toys, where we sell the PDF step-by-step instructions for some incredibly awesome LEGO MOCs. It's definitely worth checking out. The revenue from the web store helps support us here at the channel, as well as the designers that create these amazing LEGO builds. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Remember, that's www.brickvault.toys, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.